Simon Boxall in for Donna Bush with your CIG Government Television News Brief for this Monday evening. Thanks for being here. In our top story today, a strong cold front is expected to enter the Cayman area later this evening with a strong high-pressure system behind the front over the northeastern Gulf of Mexico. As the front moves east over the Cayman Islands, near gale-force winds and very rough seas are expected as the high-pressure gradient increases across the northwest Caribbean Sea. Shamal Clark, meteorologist for the Cayman Islands National Weather Service, spoke on the expected weather conditions.
The Cayman Islands National Weather Service is monitoring a cold front that is currently extending across the islands. What's interesting is that behind the front exists an extremely strong high-pressure system that is expected to impact the weather into tomorrow. The marine conditions are expected to deteriorate significantly through the course of tonight into tomorrow. We're expecting winds of about 20 to 25 knots, possibly 30 knots tonight, and in the early morning about 30 to 35 knots with some higher gusts. With that, the seas are expected to pick up. Wave heights are expected to be upwards of 13 feet. Our earlier estimation was 9 to 13, but right now, based on the latest information, we could see a potential maximum of about 15 feet wave heights. That is expected to peak around 4 a.m. to about 7 a.m. in the morning. The conditions will gradually pick up, so through the course of the night, we could anticipate anywhere between 6 to 8, 7 to 9, and up to 13 feet tonight. And again, picking up early morning about 7 at around 13 feet, with a maximum possible of about 15 feet. A gradual improvement in conditions is expected throughout the day. Winds is expected to drop down about 20 to 25 knots by evening, and the seas will gradually follow suit.
Danielle Coleman from Hazard Management Cayman Islands appealed to the public to exercise caution.
Weather conditions as of this evening and throughout the night and tomorrow morning are going to deteriorate quite rapidly. We're expecting some very high seas across the island, in particular on the west side. So wave heights from anywhere from 9 to 15 foot. Now, of course, this poses some significant risks to anyone near the coastline. We really want to make sure there's no in-water activity going on across the islands. And again, I appreciate that people do want to see the waves, but you really need to understand that they're incredibly unpredictable. And again, with wave heights up to 15 feet, that can pose a significant risk. So please stay away from the ocean, again, in particular on the west side. There will be debris, likely to be debris on the roads, so we're strongly encouraging people not to be driving, in particular on the coast road on the west coast, and be aware that there'll be debris on the road, so making sure that you are exercising extreme caution. In regards to vessels, obviously, we want to make sure that everyone's in safe harbour and that you've secured your boats. We've seen over the years, obviously, boats getting lifted and arriving on the actual beach. And the last thing we want to see is that happening over the evening and tomorrow. So please secure your boats. Please make sure that you do stay in safe harbour and you don't go out in your boats tomorrow. And again, adhere to the marine warning. We will be updating the public on a regular basis. And again, just a reminder just to official sources are very, very, very important. So please make sure you're tuned in to the government, the Weather Service and Hazard Management to give you the official information.
Since its opening 33 years ago, the Cayman Islands National Museum has been actively collecting Caymanian artifacts. Interim Director Tunisia Barnes explains what is currently happening to ensure locals and visitors alike get to see parts of our history.
The Cayman Islands National Museum recently opened up an extension to their main downtown location here in West Bay. We've called it the Cayman Collection Center. And in here we have several of our 15,000 pieces that are normally housed in storage. However, due to the small location of downtown, we weren't able to adequately display them. So having now this 20,000 square foot space, we're able to display different objects that we had currently in storage for several years.
The items range from Aunt Julia Hyde's drums, also a 100-year-old dugout canoe, and a model boats made by local seafarers. And also there's a replica of a traditional Caymanian backyard and even a life-sized May cow. The curated collection is a snapshot of Caymanian culture and celebrates our unique development. The collection can be seen at the former Car Museum located near the Turtle Farm Center in West Bay, and it's open Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. The Department of Tourism is informing their tourism partners of the new location for making physical payments at the Government Administration Building. This includes payments for tourism accommodation tax, timeshare tax, and hotel licensing fees. As of January 8, 2024, anyone bringing in payments to the Department of Tourism should submit payment on the ground floor of the Government Administration Building. At the Department of Tourism window, where there is a dedicated cashier who will be available to assist you. For clients who remit fees through online banking services, these payment channels remain active and available. Finally, please note that the Dropbox option will no longer be available. Payments should be made within the cashier operating hours of 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. The Union Jack and Cayman Islands flag were flown at half-mast today, February the 5th, following the passing of His Excellency Dr. Hage Geingob Job, President of Namibia. The President had been receiving cancer treatment, but unfortunately succumbed to his illness yesterday, and that's on February 4th. And that's it for today's news brief this evening. Remember to check out the Cayman Islands National Weather Service's website and Facebook page for updates on the latest on local weather conditions. And if you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for all of your key government information. Again, I'm Simon Boxall in for Donna Bush. Thank you for joining us here, and have a great night, everyone.
I'm Jody Ann Powery. I'm the Police Media Officer with the RCIPS, and I'm here to give you some crime prevention tips on how to best protect your property. The first thing that we want to discuss is our points of entries. Let's start with the front door, and then we'll move on to the windows and the back doors or sliding glass doors. The first thing to consider is the front door. This particular front door has 2 deadbolt locks. One of these deadbolt locks are properly carpentered and the other is not. When your door is properly locked, you'll hear a click at the end and the deadbolts are not able to move. If it is slightly opened, then you can push the deadbolt back without having any restrictions. I'll now proceed to show you what your lock should look like when it is properly locked. When it comes to your windows, you want to make sure that your window is locked all the way down, because even though the lock is on, if it's not all the way down, it can still be pried. The proper way to lock the window is to make sure that the window goes all the way down to the seal and then you pull across the lock. When you have a sliding glass door at home, you want to make sure that you have secondary locking devices in addition to the lock that comes with the door. One of those can be a simple piece of wood that's jamming the doorway. We want to encourage you to ensure that you don't make things easy for burglars who are looking for opportunities to break into property by leaving your property out in plain view. Some of these items are your car keys, your electronics, and your handbags. Make sure that you put these properties away when you're leaving the house or when you're going to bed. When you're going camping or if you're taking your family on a trip, you want to ensure that your property has some sign of life. This can be done by leaving a light on or putting timers on your lights. And we want to ensure that our family homes are safe. In order to do so, we encourage that people take the proper precautions by starting up neighborhood watches or encouraging family members or persons they trust to check on their properties while they're away.
Seek the latest accurate information on COVID-19 only from official sources at gov.ky/coronavirus.